We have finally reached it. We have finally reached the end of the 2016 season, and our New York Yankees finished on top as 2016 World Series champions, the 28th World Series in New York Yankees history. And first things first, the World Series MVP is Brian McCann. The power-hitting catcher hit .450 in the World Series with 3 home runs and 6 RBI, and he was also the postseason MVP as well. He hit .350 with 8 home runs and 17 RBI total in the entire postseason. The Yankees went from being the second wildcard team where they took on the Kansas City Royals, beat them in Kansas City, then moved on as the lower seed to take on who had the bye week, which is the Cleveland Indians, the team who had the best record in the American League. And the Yankees, going in there as the underdogs, win that series 4-1, move on to the American League Championship Series with the throwback series type against the Boston Red Sox, their arch rivals. The Yankees come out on top on that one as well, 4-1, and then they move on to face the best team in all of baseball, 100+ wins on the regular season, a stacked lineup from top to bottom, and they win that series as well, 4-1 against the Los Angeles Dodgers to secure their 28th World Series in franchise history. And as far as retirements go, at the end of the 2016 season, the biggest one, nobody retired on the Yankees, but the biggest one total is definitely Carlos Beltran. Carlos Beltran has retired and he has been inducted into the Hall of Fame, a career .280 hitter with 2,524 hits and exactly 9,000 at-bats, 401 home runs, 313 stolen bases, and 1,468 RBI. Congratulations to the outfielder Carlos Beltran. And now moving on to the re-signings for the New York Yankees. First things first, they went and they re-signed their stud prospect relief pitchers. First priority, 20-year-old left-hander Hiroki Suzuki. Then they moved on to Ian Clarkin, another left-hander. And then they moved on to Domingo Germán, a right-hander with a big potential. And then they moved on to Willie Bautista, another right-hander with some big potential. Moving on to re-signing the guys from the big league club. Justin Wilson, the left-handed reliever, has been brought back for 2 seasons. He signed a 2-year deal, $2.8 million per year. He's currently at 29 years old, so this deal will end after he's 31 years old, and then they'll decide if they want to bring him back or not. They also went and re-signed Jacob Lindgren, another left-handed reliever, the man who wears number 69. 3 years, $833K per year. He's 23 at the moment. That deal will bring him through his 26-year-old season. And arguably the biggest signing they did this offseason as re-signs is Tom Ullman. Brought Tom Ullman, the 20-year-old stud first baseman / DH, back for 5 years, $2.8 million per year, which is a bargain for him. They'll have him on that contract through his 25-year-old season. And they plan on having Tom Ullman as a huge part of this team's success right now and in the future. Yankees also went out and re-signed Dino Cruz for 3 years, $900K per year. He's currently 19 years old, so he's going to be bringing back for a couple more years. He's sitting in AAA right now, but they would like him to be the starting third baseman once Todd Frazier leaves. And moving on to Todd Frazier, they brought him back for 3 years, $9.2 million per year. He's 31 at the moment, so that'll bring him through age 34. They could trade him in the last year of his deal. They don't know exactly if they're going to keep him for all those years, but they wanted to give him those 3 years, $9.2 per year. He definitely earned it. He was a huge part of the New York Yankees postseason run and their push for the playoffs at the end of the season. The Yankees also re-signed Adam Warren and David Carpenter through arbitration. They were both eligible, and they're both brought back for yet another year. Adam Warren was solid in the bullpen. They brought him in the rotation when somebody went down. He was solid in the rotation, and David Carpenter has been a solid reliever for the past 2 seasons. Now moving on to the free agency part of it, the Yankees continue their tradition they started last year where they just don't really sign anybody with huge names. Nobody did a huge contract, just not really looking to sign these big players. Last year they tried to go after Jeff Samardzija and Ian Desmond, but they did prove that they didn't need to go after them because they won the World Series, and either of those guys signed, and they just got a bunch of depth guys. So they got a bunch of depth guys again this year because they didn't really feel like they needed to make a huge splash in free agency. Plus, the free agency class wasn't very strong. The highest guy there was probably Matt Wieters, and the Yankees don't need a catcher. So some of the depth signings, starting off with middle infielder Cesar Rodriguez, shortstop slash second third baseman. He's got some decent contact, righty and lefty. He's got great vision, discipline, and clutch. He's been able to stay on the field with his durability, and he's got above average fielding and about average speed as well. He's 18 years old, 72 overall, C potential. They signed him to a minor league deal. He's also a switch hitter, so Cesar Rodriguez, depth in the organization. Another middle infielder went out and signed shortstop, second and third baseman Harman Varquette, a 22-year-old right-handed bat, right-handed throw. He is more of a power-hitting middle infielder. He's got about halfway to 60, like mid-50s contact, mid-50s power, except for lefties, it's mid-60s. Great vision, good discipline, great clutch, decent durability. He's an average fielder, he's got above-average speed. He's definitely a valuable asset to have in the organization. And then the biggest signing they had in free agency was beefing up their bullpen with known reliever in Jordan Walden. Signed him to a 3-year, $6.2 million deal per year. He's 29 years old at the moment. That'll take him through his age 32 season. And the Yankees are going to have a shut-down back end of their bullpen. They have Dellin Betances in the 9th, and they'll have in the 7th or 8th, because they plan on having Walden as the right-handed setup man, and then the left-handed setup man is Andrew Miller. They'll either have Miller in the 7th and Walden in the 8th, or Miller in the 8th and Walden in the 7th. That is a shut-down 7 through 9 bullpen, and then you add on David Carpenter, Java Chamberlain, Justin Wilson, and even Jacob Lindgren, and that is a very solid bullpen for the New York Yankees. And then the Yankees also proved last season that they didn't have too much of a depth at the starting pitching, so Adam Warren took out of the bullpen and did well, but guys like Asher Wojciechowski was a bit iffy, David Hale a bit iffy. They didn't do much with Brian Mitchell last year, but they didn't really have these guys they were really dependent on and actually were able to be relied on. And this year they want to change that, so they went on and signed a sinker baller. Good stamina, good K per 9, great velocity. He's a 26-year-old right-handed starting pitcher. 75 overall, C potential, Boone Whiting. Like I said, he's a sinker baller. He'll be the first guy they could call up if someone goes down, possibly even a long reliever. They also went out and signed an Asian left-hander, Wei Chung Wong, left-handed starting pitcher, 75 overall, C potential. He's got decent stats across the board, good stamina, 24 years old. He got signed to a 3-year deal for $866K per year. And he's 24 years old at the moment, so that'll take him through his year 27 season. Now moving on to some position players, the Yankees went out and signed corner infielder Ranel Ravello. He's 24 years old, currently 72 overall, C potential, great contact, decent power, decent vision, discipline, and clutch, good durability, average fielder, average base running, and he's got C potential. The guy is going to be a corner infielder for depth in the minor leagues. He got signed to a 2-year, $750K deal that'll take him through his age 26 season. Possibly the most important depth guy they signed is Breivik Valera. He's got above 60 contact, 80 vision, decent discipline, decent bunting, great durability. He's got above average fielding, very good base running, 92 speed on the base paths, and he's currently sitting as a 75 overall, C potential. He could play second, third, short, left, center, and right. They plan on having him inserted directly into that super utility role that Jose Perella played last year, but they've kind of lost confidence in Perella. He's not exactly what they were looking for, so Perella is going to be spending a lot of the time in AAA, and Breivik Valera is going to be the super utility guy, and they're even thinking that possibly if Torreyes is just having last year, if he just had some fluke season, this guy will take over if Torreyes does not play well. If Jed Lowry doesn't play well, he'll take over. Another middle infield depth signing of Devin Marrero. He's not exactly a good bat, but he's a 25-year-old shortstop, second baseman, third baseman who's got great fielding, 87 fielding, 75 arm strength, 75 arm accuracy, 75 reaction, 74 speed. He can get to the balls, he can make all the great plays. He's just the guy to have down in the minors if they ever need someone to call up from an infield spot to fill that spot. Then they went in and signed 3 outfielders to replace some of the guys they let walk, like Slade Heathcott, Ramon Flores, Tyler Austin, and a couple other guys. One of them was Corey Maurer, a 20-year-old outfielder slash third baseman, 65 overall, C potential, great contact, 73 versus righties, 66 versus lefties, great vision, great discipline, and clutch. He's got decent durability. He can work a bit on his fielding. He doesn't have the strongest arm, but his reaction to fielding is average. He's got about 49 speed, which is not very good for an outfielder, but he's a great guy to have at the plate. He's a great contact hitter. And he's a left-handed bat at Yankee Stadium. If he does get called up, he'll be spending AAA with the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. Then there's a super fast center fielder in Tanner English. He can play center, left, and right. He's currently at 24 years old, 70 overall. See potential, right-handed bat, right-handed throw, 74 arm strength, 90 reaction, and 92 speed. Once again, he's not exactly a great bat, but he's great in the field, steals some bases. He'll be in AAA as the starting either center fielder or right fielder with that arm. He spent last season with the Minnesota Twins, even played a couple games against the Yankees last season as well. Count runs 1-2 now. Wojciechowski sets, kicks, fires. As that's well hit opposite way into right center. Judge gives chase, but he can't get to it. That'll bounce one step in front of the track, and it'll hop off the wall as Ryan founding third, heading for home, and he is scoring on the play as Tanner English has himself a triple. An RBI triple, and the Twins strike first this one, and they are up 1-0 after English's second triple of the season. And then lastly, they went out and signed another depth guy to have, just as a AAA guy, in Kelly Dugan, 26-year-old outfielder, previously with the Philadelphia Phillies organization, played for the Lakewood Blue Claws back in the day. He's got a mid-50s contact, 50 power across the board, decent discipline and clutch, good durability. He's got decent fielding, great reaction and arm strength, above average speed. The guy could play a role sometime if they need to call him up in September, maybe take over as a depth guy later in the season. He's just there for depth like most of these guys are. And with that being said, that'll wrap things up here for this 2016 off-season video heading into the 2017 season. The next video you see will not be opening day. It'll be a spring training video showing off some of the young guys, showing off some of these depth guys that we've signed, what they can do, and just more like a highlight type thing. But after that spring training video, that'll be opening day and a series against Baltimore in Baltimore at Camden Yards. Opening day, Masahiro Tanaka on the mound. I've been your host, JerseyBorn, and I'm saying goodbye.